Hey, good morning. Ready for your briefing? We're going to brief it up today for a ride from Lufkin, Texas to Fredericksburg, Texas. I'm going to meet up with going to rejoin with my buddy Brick, F-15 fighter pilot, and Hose, an F-16 fighter pilot. Flew with both of those guys at pilot training, and with Hose at F-16 RTU. Brick went on to fly F-15s after that. So we're meeting up at the Hangar Hotel in Fredericksburg. So checking the weather, and the weather looks good at Fredericksburg, 74 and 42, sunny. So the other thing that you want to check when you're checking the weather, not just the rain, I know that's a big concern, but check the wind. And a lot of times when you're heading out in the desert, man, you can get some really stiff winds that can affect your ride. It'll make you tired, it can push you around depending on how heavy your bike is. So definitely a consideration if you get a big crosswind. I've ridden in crosswind in Death Valley, 60 or 70 mile an hour winds, and it was in my tail, so I was getting really good ground speed with a tailwind. And then you'd roll into a corner and that wind would hit you in that corner, and you really had to make a concerted effort to turn into it because it was pushing you over. So it was really a bit of a safety issue. The cornering was affected for sure. Anyway, so there's weather. I checked the route. We're also on mission planning. We're doing the route. We got I looked at the map. I don't know if it's gonna be cool or not, but it's different. I'm gonna go on a road called TX-OSR. It's the only non-numbered road in Texas. It was historically in 1929, it was some road between, I don't know, something's Midway and College Station or something like that. But it's maintained by the Department of Transportation. For some reason, they never gave it a number. Whether that's special or not, I don't know. I looked on YouTube, looked around, see if I couldn't see anything on it, so that'll probably be my catchphrase for the YouTube Texas OSR ride. Whatever. It's probably nothing exciting. But anyway, trying to go into hill country, and I finally got some corners on the bike yesterday. I'd gone almost 1,000 miles, and I don't even think I leaned the bike over at all. It's crazy. So yeah, I think we're going to start hitting some good corners, see how the bike feels in cornering. I'll go out and pre-flight the bike here shortly. My equipment, gearing up with charging my Air Tech 5 vest, and I'm on my third one. I had one stolen. The one I brought with me on this trip was broken en route. The zipper broke, and when the zipper breaks, it's worthless. It has to be zipped up to be effective. So I had to go right away to Cycle Gear, buy another one. Luckily, they were on sale for $630 or something. So that was a good thing. So now I'm feeling pretty good, getting geared up, getting a good habit pattern, which habit patterns are really critical in flying and critical in riding motorcycles. So I'm packing up the same way every day. I'm putting things in the same compartment every day, so I know where to find stuff. There's nothing worse than being on a long trip and you can't find shit. That's really irritating. So I got a pretty good process going, strapping gear down. Let's talk about that for a second. There's a guy on YouTube who is pretty gnarly video to watch, but he was riding somewhere in the southeast, ridden 200,000 miles like a guy just riding his whole life, just going. And he made a mistake, and he's on an adventure bike, and he didn't strap something down, and the bag caught it fell off and fell between his fender and his wheel, and he's doing about 75 or 80 passing this truck, and it locked up his brake, and he starts sliding, and then he actually low sides on the bike, and he low sides with his left leg or right leg, I don't know, his foot underneath his rear pannier, and so it literally ground his foot in half, and so he's now minus a foot. So I kind of thought about it, I'm like, oh, riding's like flying, when there's an accident in flying, we review it and we learn from it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna really make a concerted effort because I would do some kind of janky tie downs too with bungee cords and stuff like that. And now it's all rock straps, and I've got it really well thought out, and I've got 2 panniers and a back piece too that takes a lot of stuff in a tank bag, and then I have my main bag that's strapped right behind me with my foam pad that I sleep on. So anyway, some good mission planning thoughts for today. I'm feeling better, so physically my cold feels like it's going away. I'll be filming more because of that, and I'm getting into some twisties and interesting country, I think, when I get in the south of Texas. So anyway, we'll see you on the road. Speedway, Texas. Getting ready to go on West OSR, Texas. It's the only road in Texas without a number. That's its claim to fame. Well, let's check it out. See what it's like. Conveniently located next to a Family Dollar store. People really want to get into that dollar store. So, oh, there's another one. There's all these historical markers. There it is, Kings Highway, Camino du Rel. That brings me into my first rant. Historical markers in Texas. Let's talk about that for a second. So, Texas is arguably, no offense to Texas, that's a little bit boring. I mean, unless there's a huge ass thunderstorm somewhere. If you've driven through Texas, you know what I'm saying. And if you live in Texas, come on, be honest. It's pretty flat, long expanses of nothingness. And so my theory is that they fill it up a little bit with these historical markers. And I thought, okay, I'm going to stop at one, because they're everywhere. Literally, they were every mile for 4 or 5 miles out of one town. So the historical marker, I'm like, okay, well, check it out, see what this important place of importance is. And honestly, it's like, dude, that's all you got? What was one of them? Well, there's 3 of them in a row that were the exact same thing. That one I just read, the Kings Highway. And they have a big sign, historical marker, 1 mile on the left, blah, blah, blah. And you think, oh, it's going to be something different every time. No, sometimes they're redundant. They repeat, they're repetitive. So that's kind of a waste of money. So you get the proverbial cry wolf, You're like, oh, there's something historical. I got to stop and see it because I feel bad if I don't look at it while I'm on a trip. Well, then it's bullshit because it's the same thing over and over again. And another one, they're really kind of regional too. They're like, you think, oh, it's going to have like a real piece of significance. Like in most states, it's significant. Something happened there, that like a war, battle, or whatever. It's something pretty interesting. No, not here. They put up anything. One of them, what was it? I don't know what town it was in. And half of this will be embellishment. But essentially, they were saying that some folks, I'm going to put my best Texas accent, there were some folks that were working hard, and the local ladies, they got together and they made some pies, and they brought the pies up to the workers. And this is in 1889, and those pies were so good, those boys were so happy, they just did a jig and started to dance. And so they called that the Pie Day. Pie Day in that town has been celebrated since 1899. Yeah, half of that's bullshit, but you get the idea. It was kind of very insignificant. I mean, these aren't even state level historical markers. They're not even like county level. Some of them are town level. Like, oh yeah, on this site, this was real. It was kind of interesting. In this site, in 1864, this town built a blockhouse. Like a blockhouse? Where is it? Well, it's on this site. It's not here anymore. A blockhouse to protect against Indians. The Indians were attacking us, and so we had to build us a blockhouse to protect us from the Arabs. And I'll tell you what, if you read any history about the Comanches in Texas, so that's my rant on historical markers. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stop it anymore. I'm going to do, just because I don't want to give the Historical Marker Society a bad review, I'm going to sample around my 2 or 3 days crossing Texas. I'm going to see if there's a trend, so I have the right sample size before I make my conclusion whether or not they're absolutely worthless or not. I think it's just an attempt to spice up the boringness of most of the state. I mean, I think I'm going to get into some good riding. This is feeling pretty good right now. It's good, secondary. I saw a curve. I went on a curve, and I can't tell you how. I actually tried to find some roads in South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. There's another one, historical marker, 11,253. Let's see, we'll stop. And if it's another one of the Kings Highway, well, I got off that highway, so this could be different. Well, I have a sign, blew right on by it, didn't see it. Oh, don't worry, there'll be more. Oh, 2 dogs laying in wait for someone to chase. Beautiful day, 61 degrees. Look at here, look out, it's a corner. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a couple corners. Texas style. Trail braking in this one. That's probably the most aggressive cornering I've done with the bike. Right there. Took the weather for next week, and they've got severe weather forecast in about 3 days. So I'll be out of here west by then. Lots of ranches, a lot of cattle, a lot of historical markers. I'm kind of having a problem with this. My throttle is sticky. Give it gas, and then it doesn't release. I have to do it manually. This bike looks good. Really comfy at 90. Love to sit at 90 and just go all day long. That's the sweet spot for the bike. Super smooth. The suspension's pretty tight. Well, I went and saw a Goldwing. I was with my friend in Orlando. We went to a Harley dealer and we went to a Kawasaki and Honda dealer. The Harley dealer, oh man, they had a lot of bikes there. I don't think, that's in Florida. They had a whole row of brand new 23s, new 2023s. So those bikes are already 2 years old, going on 2.5, sitting there. And they had a big problem with that because the 2024s they came out with were cheaper MSRP than those 2023s. And the 2024s had better motors, 117 motor, I think, versus the 114 cubic inch. Good luck trying to sell those 2023s. A really good dude there, though. He's like a retired Marine Corps guy. He just started. He was a good salesman. He was right away selling himself. And then, putting in some good just to try to get me to ride the bike. I'm kind of interested in a little bit in here it is, OSR Texas. A weird name for a road. Kind of interested in the bike. I'll probably go ride one sometime. I'm not paying 26 grand for that bike. No way. So I think this summer I may go look at one. So I'm a little bit interested in a road glide or a street glide. I've read about them, and the really good ones are the CVOs with the ST. Those are outrageously expensive. $46,000 to $50,000 for a motorcycle. I just bought this for $5,500 and doing everything I need. I'm having a real hard time buying anything new right now. I don't want to have any payments. I think that's a general feeling all across the country is I'm not going to pay that much on interest. And all my vehicles are paid for. Kind of creeping up on retirement. I'm selling my company in 2 or 3 years. Have enough money in savings. I'll have 3 sources of income. Military retirement, Social Security, and monthly payment for the business. So we set up pretty good. Well, that's a good blast right there. And I'll see you at the hotel. Birdman out. I was trying to turn the camera on, but I couldn't get the button to work. That tanker truck up ahead was passing that other truck on this little 2-lane road, and that car right there was following that tanker truck on the pass. Could not see anything, so I was going to try to get the head-on collision that was potential there. When that truck pulled into the right and that car just smashed somebody. But thankfully it didn't happen. This guy got lucky.
All right, Hamilton to the airport. So anyway, yeah, like and subscribe. Don't do it if you don't want to. Leave some comments in the chat.